Okay, we're live again. Hello. Oh, you're going to get camera shy now, are you? You were just here staring at me like, what is that? Hey, what is that? Hey, what is that? You going to look at... Hello.
She does
Hello.
that. She does not want to be cooperative.
Yeah.
You also got something international.
Oh, yes, yes. I have now...
There's an ad for Jaguar in the mailbox, so there you go, Plan B.
Plan B. Well,
Or C.
looking in the car, there's some troubling looking wires that are connected to like parts that look like the engine. So even if I get the thing starting, I don't know how safe it is. And it's the type of thing that it's an offshoot of a lot of wires that do not just disconnect from one another. So I think the term wiring harness is something.
Sounds like something.
And I don't know how much it cost in parts and labor because that ain't looking at all the places this thing go. I ain't doing that. But
yeah,
but
probably not a good idea.
But I suspect even if I get the car to start, someone's going to look at that and go, "Well, you need a new wiring harness."
Right.
So the song that Brian cursed us all with on Monday, 1A7, I think that's looking more and more.
For kids, yeah. I mean, we can always do.
Now Sparky's on the line now. So say hi to Sparky.
Hi, Sparky.
Okay. So, and
I mean, there are definitely other places we can also donate the car, so it's not that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And we're getting closer to that point. But
hey,
I have got
nice.
I have got the ultimate edition of Tubular Bells to add to my Tubular Bells collection. I have too many copies of Tubular Bells, and it's not because it's my favorite album. It's because it's not. I like it, but it's not even my favorite Mike Oldfield album.
Oh, this is somebody bought a Jaguar.
Oh, someone
that used to live at our house because I just.
Oh, so we're on Jaguar's mailing list.
Because now we got coupons.
We got coupons for Jaguars.
So.
Oh, those are for services.
Yeah, that's
and
what I was
coolant
saying.
exchanges.
That's why I was saying someone bought this.
So if we bought a Jaguar, we could save $50 on the service.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that would be. I'm sorry, I didn't mean that.
No, that's okay.
It stuck to my hand.
Yeah. Yeah. There's complimentary multi-point brake and tire inspection. And a wiper blade special. So you totally
wiper blade special.
$10 off.
You know, Seth says he never said it. But I never let him forget that one time he referred to Teflon wiper blades as titanium wiper blades.
I mean,
he's like, no, you got to get the titanium wiper blades. They last much longer. I'm like, titanium? You mean like what they make the bicycles out of? And then I was shopping for wiper blades and I saw the Teflon ones. I'm like, oh, that's what he meant. That's a great idea.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
That I could get on board with. Now Sparky says Jaguars are over-engineered and overpriced.
Well, yeah, I mean that's why I was joking around. It's funny because the coupons were like
$50 off service, $20 off coolant,
$10 off wiper blades.
Well, it's down there now. We recycled it because we're green. Okay, so let's review where we are. So of course, we could try to just bypass the neutral safety if that is the problem, but I don't know. I've got the Massachusetts State Inspection document up on my screen. I did not find the word neutral anywhere in the document. The word safety is in the document 48 times, usually referring to safety as a general term, not in a legal definition of, but I did find a thing that referenced safety devices not operationing, which is very vague use of the word safety. And I'm not even sure if it's a list of reason to fail. But item 5 down here, safety devices. A, safety devices missing. B, unattached or incapable of secure attachment. C, chains or hooks worn to the extent of a measurable. So, I mean, safety devices missing, if you bypass it, it's not really missing, is it? But unattached or incapable of secure attachment. Well, an undetached safety device. What if it's attached but it's bypassed and it's not missing? Yeah, but now we're trying to look for loopholes and bypass the spirit of the law. So I have a feeling I could run into problems with an inspection if I just put a duct tape solution in. But we could bypass it to see if it starts. I know lots of inspection mechanics, and I know, and I not once heard them checking neutral switches. All right, well, we'll of course, if I put a big blue starter button next to there and go, oh yeah, you got to hit that to start it, that then alerts them that something weird's going on. But if we bypass it in a more elegant way, like with a paper clip, which is actually what I was thinking of doing. So let's go out to the car and let's review where we are right now. So replacement starters for a 2003 Ford Taurus come with this, because the proper procedure is to clip off the bad end of the wire from the old one and crimp on a new wire. That is a Ford solution right there, if there ever was one. And sure enough, when I took out the old starter, I found a previous crimped on end of the wire from the last starter repair. So now Sparky writes in, if you bypass the switch, we're going to do it that way. I was talking about, Dune talked about just wiring in a button on Monday's stream. So my mind was on that plan, but you're right. There's better ways to do it than run a wire and put a button in. So anyways, I clipped off the old one, so I got it stripped here, so I got my tester on there, and I've yet to get this tester to light up. This tester does not have a light bulb in it. The display backlight's blue. This is not exactly what I was expecting when I ordered it. I was hoping for something that was more visual, more beacon of light. But I can see the blue backlight from the driver's seat of the car when I use it, so it's adequate. So down here, I think, is the neutral safety, and I took the nut off, and I took the bolts off, and I took the wire connector off, and I think that's supposed to lift off, but it's a tight fit. I found a video of someone doing this on a 1999 Ford Taurus, but his video starts with the old one already off, and he just slides the new one on. So it at least shows me that the new one slides onto there, which means this one should slide off, but it ain't sliding. So I might need to get a crowbar or something. Not that it's an easy space to get to, even though there's a direct line of sight. Sparky Toaster writes in, lights blue. Yeah, that's a stupid test probe. Yeah, it was the cheapest one Amazon had. I think I need to go to the second cheapest. Now, here's the thing we got to worry about, though. And this is where we start to question how much effort do we want to put into this car. Because while I was taking this off, my eyes glanced over here, and I saw from afar that. And that is showing exposed wire. And there are 3 wires running next to one another with exposed phrase bits of wire that I think could cause some shorting issues. I don't know what these wires do, and I don't know if that's a problem, but I expect it is. So I think even if I get the car to start, someone's going to take one look at that and say, yeah, that's not good. And that comes off of here, which goes on to here, which goes over to here and there and everywhere. Now, is that what is, I've heard of the phrase, a wiring harness? Is that what all this stuff is? And if so, is that something I could just make go away, the problem, I mean, for a certain amount in parts and labor? Or does this not be cheap? Sparky writes in, ew, cover that up. Does that look animal or heat related? Well, oh, darn, they must have blown away. I pulled out clumps of fur over here when I was looking at that, but no bones. So I'm thinking animal. So, yeah, okay, animal. So I guess my next question is going to be, how much would it take to replace the wiring harness? Now, it looks like a lot of this is just connectors. Yeah, here's some more fur. Yeah, I'm finding fur, hair. I mean, this is clearly not leaves. I don't know what this is, but no nuts, though. But leaves and fur. So, anyways, separate the wires to tape up individually. Of course, this looks, yeah. I mean, these wires come in very close on this connector, and it's bad right up to the connector. That is not going to be an easy taping job. I guess it would. Well, they separate out. Okay, I got like 20 rolls of electrical tape, because every time I put one down, I forget where it is, and I start a new one. And then when I put down the new one on top of the old one, I found it. Although, oh my God, we got some broken strands here. This wire is hanging on by a thread. I don't like that one bit. Is it possible to get a new connector or put new wires in this connector, and just replace this branch off of here without doing the whole wiring harness? Put plastic loom back over top, no one will know. I mean, at this point, this wire hanging by a thread, I'm not concerned about anyone knowing. I'm concerned about getting stranded out in the middle of somewhere when that last one goes. That needs to be tended to if I'm going to keep this car. It needs to be tended to properly. And I don't know if I'm the right person to do it. But, so the question is, I'm guessing that this connector over here is what needs to make connections based on the position of that switch in there. So I know that if I were working on a computer, I'd look up the diagram for what these are and figure out which of these I need to short with a paper clip to turn on the power supply. So I'm thinking I don't know if I have a diagram for this. The manual that comes with the car doesn't even mention the neutral safety switch. So Sparky's saying probably get a new connector with a 12-inch wire and do a splice. That I could do. So I'll have to look that up. So even if we get this car started today, I don't really feel good about driving. Well, maybe I could tape it up. No, I mean, heck, when you're hanging by one thread, you'll probably break that thread while taping it. Sparky says, that seems like too many connections. Well, this matches what I saw on the YouTube video. That does seem like a lot of connections for a safety switch, but I don't think there's metal in all of them. In fact, 3 of them are empty, which means there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I don't know why there needs to be 9. Well, this matches up with what I saw on YouTube. So I don't know why, but this is a Ford neutral. I mean, that's matching up with what I've seen for other Ford videos for neutral safeties. Now this should, like I said, lift up, but I think I need to get something to pry it up. Because it's just not moving. Sparky writes in, I'd be very cautious jumping anything in that connector unless you have concrete evidence. Well, I would need evidence in the form of a pin out of that connector is what I would need. I guess at this point, we might need to find maybe an actual service manual for the 2003 Ford Taurus. And I don't know if I can find a free PDF download, but maybe I can find one to buy. But that's not going to help us today. I mean, today what I could do is pry that off, take it to AutoZone, and ask them if they can test it or sell me a replacement for like a reasonable price. Because if a new one's like $20, You know, that's not the end of the world. It's cheaper than a starter. Can't you just disconnect the switch end? I don't know what you mean. I mean, the only thing I had on here was this, which bolted down to the middle, which I'm guessing rotates back and forth, which maybe that got loose even. But yeah, that should click it around to different positions. And the two bolts holding it to the side and the connector, and it should lift off now, but it don't. It's a tight fit. I think this actually like that bolt goes through the part, I think, and I need to slide it up off of there, I believe, but it's not sliding. So I might need to get a big screwdriver and try to pry. Sparky writes in, oh, it's mechanical and not electrical. Yeah, because a big part of the verbiage about these parts is adjusting them and counting the clicks and looking at the position of the bolts towards the center of the hole, because there's a lot of wiggle room there and adjustments. So yeah, we got a physical switch here that then, based on its physical position, is electrical in the sense of it, but yeah, it's a big knob is what it is, really. All right, let's get a big ass screwdriver and try to pry this thing up. I forgot to leave the light on in the basement again. All right. There we go. Big ass screwdriver. So it works with the transmission that tells it what gear it is in, and then closes a switch to say, okay, start with key. Yeah, it shifts to different positions when you shift in the car, is how it works. So I'm going to have to put the phone down to try to do a two-handed pry. Of course, I don't have much room to work with, so there's not much room to put a screwdriver in here to get some good leverage on this. Ah, God, and there's hoses all in my way here. What the heck is all this stuff? Do I really need all this? All right. That is not lifting off. No, I cannot get this to budge in an upward. I can get it to rock, but I can't get it to come up. Is there a C or E clip holding it on? Well, that's a good question and something I thought about, but I've yet to. I don't see one. I assume you mean a Jesus clip. You know, the one that you go to pry off with a screwdriver, it goes ping across the room, and you go, Jesus. That's the one you're talking about? Yeah, there's not one of those on here. And I saw a video of a 99 Ford, and the guy just slid the new one on after taking the old one off because he started the video halfway into the job, which I don't understand, but okay, at least that putting one on shows you played in reverse, you got taken it off. And he just slid it on. Feel underneath it. Well, underneath it is where I'm trying to kind of pry, and all I feel underneath it is the part. Oh, you mean underneath here? Yeah, no, there's no clip. Not that I feel, or not that I see, or... Now, of course, between 99 and 2003, they could have decided to add something. So no, I cannot. So I guess my question is do I want to give it more? You know, if there's a reason, if there's something holding it, do I risk breaking it, or do I just need more leverage? Because the problem is when I'm prying on one side, so it's not doing a straight up. It's just doing a angled up. But you'd hope that you can get a little bit of movement, and then from the other and get some starting. But no, nothing's moving on this thing. Spray some penetrating oil on it. Don't force it until you have a new one. I don't have penetrating oil. Got vegetable oil. Might have canola. I got some of that like 3-in-1 oil. I think I lost my can of WD-40, but I got other lubricant sprays, but that's probably not quite the same thing. Transmission oil. Transmission fluid. Maybe. Actually, no, I think I ran out of transmission fluid. This car previously evaporated transmission fluid, and then we filled it, and it hasn't done it again since, which no one can explain. But transmission fluid. Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure I'm out of transmission fluid. But we could take a look in the back anyways. I mean, I might have to take a drive out at some point. Oh, wait. What is this? Antifreeze. Nope. Motor oil. Rain X all season washer fluid, and a first aid kit, and jumper cables, and oh, I even have some leftover coolant or refrigerant, not coolant, refrigerant, and the charging base for some walkie-talkies that are long gone, and the remnants of audio cables from when I used to have a amplifier in here, which ended up being sold on the side of a street in Oakland, California, probably, and a really outdated map of New Jersey. Hey, there's Governor Florio, but that dates it. Sparky writes in it, healed on its own. R134 and some mouse poop. Yeah. So, we have some options here. Option A do some more research and figure out how to get the neutral safety switch off of there, and then figure out how to test that. B, close this up and put a button in Dune style, Dune suggestion, to just plain and simple short the starter itself. See if that works. Or C, 1877, and I'm not going to finish that. Could you show where the wires are at leaving the switch? Okay. So this is the connector on the switch. This is the wire connector here, which goes into this conduit here, which splits to other things. Goes into this big ass connector here, and also splits to go under the air filter here, and then that goes up in here, and there's also another conduit that's down there. Part of some of these conduits come up here. As you can see, wires run everywhere in this thing. So you shorted the starter already, and it worked. I did not, because I'm pretty confident that that will work, being it's a new starter, and I'm really trying to diagnose why I can't get juice to the starter. Mainly, I don't feel like jamming a screwdriver into live connections. But I'd have to put this back together to jam it with a screwdriver and test that, which I could do. I mean, I could put this connector on that wire, crawl under the car, attach it to the end of the starter, and well, heck, I don't need this wire connected to test that, actually, because I still have the always positive wire down there. So why do I even need this connected? That wire's dead until something fixes that. So why am I even thinking about connecting that wire? Dun 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 dun. You're a dumbass. Okay, just make sure car is in park. Car is in park. The parking brake is on. And for good measure, we got a block behind the tire, which has wiggled its way loose. Okay, there we go. All right, well, if we're going to try to short the starter, we're going to have to do it with something other than this screwdriver, because this is an electrical screwdriver that doesn't conduct. Bought a set of those when I started working on the TV. This one ought to do the trick. All right. Do I need to reconnect the well, I don't need to worry about the neutral safety switch, I don't think. Although that switch, you know what? That switch might also be responsible for things like backup lights when shifting into reverse. So that probably explains why there's more than 3 wires on there. All right. Well, let's put that down. And let's see if we can get the starter to crank. First things first. There's a lot of things that fall from gravity, so I'm going to put my safety goggles on. I don't feel like getting grease in my eyes. All right. There's nothing. Well, that worked. All right, so the car starts and it makes strange noises when you have the air filter system opened up, but it started. I'm sorry you missed the sparks, but there were sparks. You probably would have seen them better if I did this at night. Okay, so we know that the car will start if we could just get a damn signal to the starter. Which also means that my unnecessary starter change was successful. So even though I didn't need to do that last weekend, I did do it successfully. So much of the fur I was pulling out of here looks a lot similar to the same type of fur that's fraying from underneath the hood. So I don't think I got a critter in here. I think I just got aging wires. So really, yeah, we need to figure out how to get signal to the starter is what we need to do. And it very well might be that switch down there. But we need to get it out. So I guess what I could do is I could go to the AutoZone store, ask them about a neutral safety switch, ask them about getting the old one out while buying a new one, ask them about some penetrating oil, and then we'll be ready to do that. So Sparky thinks there's a 90% chance of neutral safety is, yeah, well, I'd say 50, because basically all we know is that we're not getting signal to this wire that should be getting here. So anything upstream of this could be it. And upstream of this is the neutral safety switch and a whole lot of more wire. And you've seen what some of the wires look like in this car. So I'd give it a 50-50. Now, this is a pretty thick, heavy wire, but eventually it goes into this connector, which has a lot of small wires coming out of it. So anything between here and there. If you go online and see what you get with a new switch, it might give you clues as to what's holding it on. That too. This wire is the wire that should go to the starter. That should start it. The wire that's dead, that's not producing any, it's not attached to the starter anymore because I took it off because it was easier to clamp it and test. Plus, really, I should put this new end on it to attach it to the starter. But I'm not going to do that until I have it working and have juice coming out of it. Yeah. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go inside, wash my hands, and start looking up. Well, I'm going to take Sparky's advice, see what comes with a new neutral safety switch, and maybe we'll take a look at, maybe I just need to take a drive down to AutoZone and ask the guys there. They were so helpful last time. And that way, and let me at least get a ballpark of the price before I take a drive over. All right, Sparky writes in off to AutoZone we go. All right. All right, well, I'm just going to put you down on the counter here. I got some, this stuff is the stuff that antique radio restore people use to get a nice shiny finish on the wooden cabinets of antique radios, which is goop, which is meant to be a hand cleaner. So that's why I actually had proper hand cleaner in my basement. And it works great as hand cleaner. And it works great on antique radios and antique TVs. So I'm just going to get the grease off my hands here. All right, so let's, now that my hands are clean, let's change my camera angle. All right. All right. Sparky writes in, wait, is this what you need? Holy cow. They salty. 64 buckaroos? Now that's a, oh. Oh, let me find out. Let me go www.autozone.com. All right. Let's add vehicle to get exact fit. 2003 Ford Taurus. Oh, I don't know which one it is. Fuck. Or enter your vehicle's VIN number. All right, back to the glove box. Holy shit. Something happened here. My car is bleeding. That ain't water. That's red. I don't know where it's coming from, though. Is it possible now the air filter should just have airflow, and this hose came from there, but did I pop off something else? Or do I have a leak that has sprung as a result of starting the car? This is only my second. You don't know your VIN by heart? I know my first car's VIN in my head. Could it be trans fluid? It could be, but I don't know what trans fluid looks like. But this is red, and the puddle starts. I'm looking at the front of the car, and it starts on the right side there. I mean, it pooled under the tire, but I think that's just where it flowed to. But, yeesh. Trans is red. Yeah. So my car spewed some transmission fluid when I started it, is what has happened. So Sparky, should you call in so we can sing in harmony? 1877. I'm thinking it might be time to call it, you know? Now, Sparky's thinking the same thing about a hose. Now, I moved a lot of hoses. I moved this hose. I moved that hose. This hose goes to here, which goes to here, which goes to the air filter. So this is an air hose. So that should not have caused a problem. But everything else here, not to mention, I don't see any red up here. So it leaked down there. Underneath where I'm working, and it's dripping onto my shoes. Although that could just be water. Yeah, that's just water. If it came out of hose, the end of the hose would be wet. Yeah, well, it didn't. Like I said, I'm not seeing signs of bleeding or leaking from above. I see wet leaves down there, but I think that's dampness from the weather. I don't think they're red. No, I'm actually, yeah, those leaves are. And that hose down there is very greasy, but that could just be normal greasy. Yeah, no, that was definitely oily leaves or greasy leaves or slick, slimy leaves. But I still don't see where it came from. It may have just spewed upward when it burst forth from. Oh, you know what? Right up here is the dipstick for the transmission fluid. Now, I do remember one time. So when we were moving house from the apartment to the house, the car had sat at the apartment house for a few years. And so we decided to get it started up and get it moved out to the street so that we could drive it to the new house the next day. And that was the night when I was able to get the car to start, but I couldn't get it into gear because I shifted to drive. I give it gas, it would do nothing. And I Googled and they suggested transmission fluid. And I put in a bottle of transmission fluid and it still wouldn't get into gear. And I put in a second bottle of transmission fluid and I start the car and it started bubbling up out of this thing. It just started spewing out. We never explained why it did that. We never found a problem, but it seemed to be some kind of a burping situation that happened. So I'm thinking that from sitting here, that burping situation has happened again, and my car has spewed up some transmission fluid up from here. Likely, I just need to top that off, and maybe that's all that is. And then that drained its way down there and dripped down there and pooled under the tire. So I need at least that much transmission fluid to put back in. Sparky said I added too much. I don't think I added too much, and I'm not trying to be argumentative because clearly you know more about cars than I do. So I believe you that that would happen from adding too much. But I was checking the dipstick, and I know that's a dipstick that you check while the engine's running. And yet I still entered a circumstance where it started spewing stuff out at me, and I still needed to put more in. And when I brought it, and I got enough in that it would move, and then when I brought it to the shop, they put more in on top of that to top it off to where the dipstick said it was right. So I really don't know what to make of all that. Okay. But I could have made some mistakes there. But yeah, the end of this is wet. Although my fingers are also wet. And up here is wet. And those leaves down there are wet. Yeah, it came out the dipstick tube is what happened. So that's another issue we're going to have to deal with on this is making sure that my transmission fluid is topped off. Sparky writes in, okay, that's where it came from, no biggie. Okay, so at least it's no biggie. Is that also where you put it in? Because I don't think I ever found another place to put it. I know, like, oil has a dipstick and a place you put it in. Those are two separate places. But I don't recall where I put the transmission fluid in when I was topping it off. I think I may have funneled it down there. But, yes, add it to the dipstick hole. Okay. So I'm going to need a neutral safety switch. I'm going to need transmission fluid. And I'm going to need to get this level, run the car, get it warm, check the dipstick, and make sure we get the transmission fluid topped up properly before we take this on the road. And I probably need to try to tape these off. Really, I should change that before I get this on the road. There's a lot of little things to do here, but I think we got some promise. Here goes another $100. So here's the thing. I really think we need to get this taken care of before I really get it on the road. So I think I need to figure out that part and buy one of those and peel this back and splice it in back here somewhere. Basically clip these, splice in a new connector. Although there's not a whole lot of wire here to work with, and as I trace back, it's still problematic. So that gives me like that much to not be problem. Oh, I'm filming my finger off. That's not a lot of wire to work with, you know. It's just not a lot to work with. Really don't like it. Just tape up the others. Yeah, no, I mean, taping it up's not a problem. The problem is I just have really bad wire, and by the time I cut it back, I only got like 2 or 3 inches here to strip and attach. And then what happens the next time it goes bad? That's future Johnny's problem. I just don't like how much I have to cut that back. That's plenty of wire to work with. How much you need? Enough to repeat this another 3 or 4 times. Okay, so I need one of these connectors is what I need. So I got to figure out what that is and where to get that. I wonder if that's an AutoZone question. Sparky writes that there'll be a next time. There's always a next time, Sparky. Have we learned nothing? Brian bought me the last battery this car would ever need. And then there was a next time. Where does that red wire go that's attached to it? What, this red wire? I mean, it all goes in this wiring harness is where it all goes to. Oh, this red wire. This red wire goes to the fuse box. And this red wire is kind of chewed up. And I don't know how this red wire got here. Because when I was driving the car back cross country from California, the air conditioning went out as we got into the desert. And then the check engine light came on. And the check engine light came on because the compressor was bad. And so we stopped in Needles, California, got some dinner, found a room, and found the nearest shop and called them up the next morning and brought it in so that they could look at the issue, because the problem was the car was making a hissing sound and the check engine light was on. And I didn't feel like driving deeper into the desert under those circumstances. So the guy looked at it and he said, "You got an electrical problem. We think the problem's this wire here that's going. That ain't the original wire. I don't know who put that there, but that ain't right." And I said, "That wire's been there for years. What does that have to do with the hissing sound?" And he's like, "Hissing sound? What hissing sound?" I start the car up and it's like, and he goes, "I don't hear anything. That's what a Ford Taurus sounds like." I'm like, "Well, this Ford Taurus didn't sound like that until yesterday." Like. So I said, "Do you see any reason that this car would break down if I continued driving?" And he said, "No, I don't." I'm like, "Close it up. I'll pay you the like consulting fee, and we're going to be on our way." Because this guy had no clue. He was looking at a wire, and the thing's making a huge hissing sound. So yeah, but that is the big red wire. Yeah, it attaches here to where the fuse box is here. So, but yeah, he was looking at that wire suspiciously. Oh, maybe that was the last thing he said in the chat, and I'm just reading it again. Anyways. So, of course, now that I made an appointment to get the air conditioning looked at this car, I realized that this car is making the same hissing sound that this car was making when the compressor was bad. So I'm guessing this car is going to need a new AC compressor. And it may just be by chance that it went bad after the perfectly good and on the up and up recharge with no leak found. Which means maybe I didn't need to go to the dealer for this and blame the mechanic down the street. But I am still disappointed at things from the mechanic down the street, and I'm also still disappointed that they haven't addressed the warm air on the passenger side issue on this car. But I think the verdict is that I'm driving this car to the Ford dealership on Tuesday night and Ubering back is what's going to have to happen, because I don't think I'm going to get this car on the road by Tuesday. Unless I really buckle down. And well, like I said, I don't want to take this car on the road unless I get that connector. So I got to get that connector. I got to get transmission fluid. I got to get a neutral safety switch. I got to figure out how to get that one off. I got to get the new one on. And then I got to determine if that's even the problem or if it's just another wiring problem that's hidden somewhere else. So there's a lot that has to be done here. Well, there's a lot of little things. It's a lot to me. It's probably, a very little bit to someone that works on cars. This thing could be the R134 leaking out under pressure. You need to remove yourself from having Ford products altogether, and life will be good. Well, 2 out of 3 were free. Although on second thought, kind of like there's no such thing as a free cat. There's no such thing as a free Ford. But I'm not at a point to buy a new car yet. I can't justify it. I'm thinking about it, though. I mean, the thought occurs to me I could make this thing disappear, keep this thing roadworthy, and buy something newer to transition over from this to still have 2 cars. But when you don't commute daily by car or weekly by car, and and this car really is, knock on wood, perfectly roadworthy except for the small AC problems, it's hard to justify the expense of a new car. Well, new to me. I don't buy new cars. I'm not at that point in life yet. I'd look for something a few years old with low miles. 7-year-old Honda RAV4. I don't know about a Honda. I don't know. My dad's always been a General Motors type of guy. All right. So I think what I need to do, I'm going to take a picture of this connector, and I'm going to go to AutoZone, and I'm going to ask about the neutral safety switch. I'm going to ask about a replacement connector for that, and I'm going to ask about transmission fluid, and I'm going to drop more money on this damn car. CRV Honda, RAV is Toyota, I think. All right, we'll keep that in mind. All right, anyways, I came out here to get the VIN number so I can continue my research. Of course, now I've got a hand covered in transmission fluid that I don't want to touch anything with. Put you down on top of the car. All right, let's go back inside and figure this out. Oh, now that's on the door handle. That's great. All right, just had to get the transmission fluid off my hand. All right, let's, oh, no, don't close. Let's change that camera angle again. There we go. All right, let's see what we got here. Wipe hands on pants, just like coronavirus. You're spreading trans fluid everywhere. Yeah. All right, so let me enter in the VIN number. And add this vehicle. All right. So that is a, okay. Now what we're going to look for, neutral safety switch. Okay. Duralast neutral safety switch F455. Free in-store pickup, not available at 89 Peck Street. Available near you at 45 nearby stores, $63.99. Okay, well, that's expensive. That was more than I was hoping to pay, but that's what Sparky was saying. And I do see it. Well, I mean, it looks like, yeah, it looks like it's just got a hole in the middle that should slide over that bolt that's standing up, or that threaded post that's standing up. I don't see any clips that come with it. So I think the old one should slide up. So I might need to get some penetrating oil. But we're not going to get this at AutoZone today, unless, now, I could call them to verify that. Let's take a look at the 45 nearby stores. Pawtucket, Taunton, East Providence, North Providence, Woonsocket, Franklin. You know, we're getting, so basically closest is 6.5 miles away in Pawtucket. But we now know what we want. We want a Duralast neutral safety switch F455. Not that that's the only one, but let's take a look if Amazon has that. And Standard Motor Products, let's see, that looks similar, but that's not the same exact model number. No, that's laid out different. This does not fit to, okay. Standard Motor Products NS200T neutral backup safety switch. 3842 prime overnight. May be available lower prices from other sellers, potentially without free prime shipping. All right. So there are cheaper options for this thing. So I can get it overnight for $40 from Amazon, or we could. Oh, you like my new look? Let's see, $36 plus $8 shipping, which is not cheaper. Okay, $40 overnight is our best option at this time. Might be button time, but I wonder if your backup lights work. If it is bad, the next inspection might require you to get one, even if you go the starter button route. because your backup light's not working unless you unload the car before the next inspection is due. Well, that's the thing. I don't even know how it would. Could it fail in a way that it only? Because it could fail in a way that only the part that goes to the starter breaks, and the backup lights still work. But I have not tested that. I'd have to put this back together to test that, which would not be the end of the world or difficult. But if I'm gonna, I guess the question is, do I pull the trigger for $40? You know, I keep buying parts guessing that they're the part. I'd really like to confirm it's the part. But I can't. I've Googled this and I can't find anything on. All right, let's see. 2003 Ford Taurus neutral safety switch pin out diagram. All right, let's take a look. 2000 Ford Taurus. Someone show me what 2 pin connectors on the neutral safety switch I need to connect so I can bypass it, please. Most GM neutral safety switch is yellow and purple. Out of ignition switch is a big yellow wire. No, that's not at all what they're asking. And 3 holes. No. Neutral start position. It's combination switch. Disconnect negative battery cable. Raise and safely support the vehicle on jack stands. Remove the downshift linkage rod. Return spring at low reverse servo cover. Coat the outer lever attaching nut with penetrating oil. Remove the nut and lever. Remove the 2 switch attaching bolts. Disconnect the wiring at the connectors and remove the switch. Installation is the reverse removal. No, that's instructions. That's not testing. The color of the 2 wires should either be red with a blue stripe or blue with a red stripe. Well, Don't know the internal workings of the switch. Yeah. I mean, really, I would expect this is the type of thing that maybe a Ford dealership would have a thing you could connect it to with lights and readouts that could properly test the different positions of the switch and the proper voltage and readouts. All right, let's add this $40 part to my cart. Well, let's check the reviews. Let's see, 68% 5-star. This is the right part for my Ford Taurus. Part was suggested to me. Not shifting out first. This part replaced the old one perfectly. It did not fix the transmission problem. No kidding. Wrong way. Fat finger. Walk right into the wrong part. Perfect. I can't say a whole lot about it because it was for my son's car, but he says it fits and works great. Exact fit. 100% good part. Be sure to order the correct trans. There's 4 and 5-speed auto. Not make that mistake as I did. Easy return and new product. And new works great. Well, this says, huh. I don't see on here where it says 4 or 5 speed. And I mean, can I really trust Amazon with the automatic, well, this will fit your 2003 Ford Taurus? Now, Sparky sent me a link. All right, let me see if I can get into the chat so I can click that link and watch that. All right. All right, let's see what we got here. Ford Explorer Sport Track. Okay, 327. Let's go ahead and fast forward to 327.
Okay, friends. Gonna work my way back and forth here.
All right. So penetrating oil, work my way back and forth. I should be able to get that part out. Now, Sparky writes in, I don't like the universal fit stuff. I don't know that it's universal. In fact, the comment suggests that there's different parts for 4-speed or 5-speed automatic. What I don't like is Amazon's automated, this fits a 2003 Ford Taurus. I don't know if that means it fits every 2003 Ford Taurus, because I know there's different 2003 Ford Tauruses, which is why I had to give the VIN number to the AutoZone, because I had 2 different starters for 2003 Ford Taurus. Does that mean that they have 2 different neutral safety switches for them? Of course, I could spend the $40. I could find out this is the wrong part. I could return it, because Amazon's pretty easy to return parts to. So is it worth saving the $20? All right, let's add this to the cart. Oh, I already added that to the cart, so now I got 2 of them in there. And let's see if we can get Amazon to also bring me penetrating oil overnight. Okay. All right, we got free all, deep, oh, that's 2-day, that's 2-day, that's 2-day. You know what? We might just need to suck it up and actually go out someplace and buy penetrating oil. Oh dear, oh heavens, no. Oh, I could buy a 12-pack of penetrating lubricant for $80. Let's see. Get it by tomorrow. Results. 3-in-1 multi-purpose oil. I already have that. Super Lube. Ginger oil massage oil. Stone and grout sealer. Yeah. Oh, Amazon doesn't have proper penetrating oil that they can get me overnight. PB blaster. So I think I just need to drive out someplace and buy some. All right, so now the next question is, what the hell is that wire connector? And is that something I can buy from an auto parts store? So tell you what we're gonna do. I'm not gonna pull the trigger on the Amazon purchase yet, because I'm gonna end the stream for now, because I don't need to go walking into an auto parts store talking to my phone. But I'm going to stop the stream. I'm going to take a picture of that bad wire connector on the car. I'm going to take a drive down to AutoZone, get the $40 back for my starter. make myself look like an idiot asking about a neutral safety switch. And I'm also going to show them a picture of that connector and ask them, would you have a replacement connector for this, or know where I could get one? So that's what we're going to do, and we're going to get their advice, and that'll get us moving in the right direction. As far as transmission fluid, though, let's get the car starting. Let's get some consistent method of being able to start the car, and then I can check the dipstick of the transmission fluid, and it's probably going to show it's low or not showing, and then we'll buy some more transmission fluid. Sparky writes, maybe by Monday there'll be an update. Heck, there might be another stream tomorrow. Heck, there might be another stream after I get back from the AutoZone. You know? All right. Stay tuned. More to come. We'll be inserting more streams here today or tomorrow. But if not, certainly Monday we'll have an update. But if I'm going to go to a store right now and buy some things, if I come back with things, I'll probably be. Well, I also got to get penetrating oil. So tell you what, if I get the neutral safety off with penetrating oil today, we'll reconnect and put the new one on and put it together and see if that gets a signal to the wire or not. So there we go. Sparky's going to a car show tomorrow. All right. Well, we'll catch you all later. Bye.